All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to come into the Zoom room today. If you're unable to make it live, I'm so excited that you're here to watch the recording. So today we're talking about essential oils and little ones ranging from newborn, through elementary school. I know there's a wide range of mamas out there with little babies and also grandmas and aunts and uncles. And, you don't even have to have kids for this to be interesting to you because there is just so much to know, and I have so much to share today. I am going to try to keep this presentation on time, so we're going to try to go 45 minutes, but I do need to be off the call at about 10 to the hour. So we'll keep this brief and concise, and I'm so excited to be here. So the first thing I wanted to share with you is why I'm here and why I'm sharing about essential oils for kids. You'll see pictured on this slide, you see a picture of my daughter, Maya. She just turned 13 months. She's almost 14 months old, and she is my lifeline. She's my little sidekick. I love her to pieces. And as any caregiver or mother knows, doing the best by my child, your child, the child you're taking care of is so incredibly important. And it's become such a passion of mine now that I have her in my life. I've always known as a dietitian working in the functional medicine world that reducing household toxins by using natural products and trying to use nature to support our bodies and treat root cause of disease is always important to me before. And that's when I got into essential oils, is because I found them to be a solution to, making natural cleaning supplies. That was the gateway. And then also to treat and support health issues with more natural solutions and solutions that work. So now that I have a kid, it's like even more critical for me. So I will be sharing today about how I use oils, essential oils with Maya. But it is really important as we go through today's presentation, that we not only talk about how to use essential oils for kids, but also how to use them for mom, because guess what? And any mom in here will know and agree with me, I'm sure, that your sanity is very important for your children's sanity, right? Like the energy that you emit out to your family and out to your child does have an impact. It's like a ripple effect. And so what we do for ourselves also supports what we, the outcomes that our children have. So we're going to go into that just a bit. I'm also going to cover safety tips, because when we use essential oils for children, we do need to dilute them and we do need to use them more judiciously. We also need to keep them out of reach of children, because these things are very, 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 very powerful. And then I'm also going to go into why this acronym CPTG, Certified Peer Therapeutic Grade, is so important to me, and why it might be important to you when you're selecting essential oils for your family. And at the very end of the presentation today, I am going to talk about how you can get started with essential oils if you're new. There's some really great ways to get started today, especially. There's some really great specials. So if you're new to essential oils and you haven't yet bought your first essential oil and you're curious about how you can do that, you see something you like, this presentation isn't to sell you anything. This presentation is to be informational, but I want to make sure those of you who at the end hear about something you like, you can learn about how to get it. And then with that information, you can do whatever you want, but that's what we're going to go through today. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 4 different topics of health today, and the 4 are, and I'm just going to run them through verbally first. I'm going to talk about healthy gut. That's this slide here. I'm also going to be talking about immunity support, sleep, and emotional support today. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is healthy gut, and this is a topic also near and dear to my heart, because as a dietitian, I've always worked on helping support healthy guts with my patient load, and it doesn't change when we're looking at our kids. A healthy gut is really critical to the health of our entire body. It's kind of the first line of defense when it comes to the foods we ingest and even environmental influences. So, keeping our bellies happy is an important part of our sanity as well. So when I think about essential oils that can support a healthy gut, and especially those used with children, the first one, as you see pictured here in the lower left, is called Digestion. And Digestion is a blend of essential oils. It includes peppermint, it has ginger, it has fennel, it has some really great digestive support oils that help support achy tummies. So if, say your kiddo does have an achy tummy and he or she is just like complaining, holding his or her belly, Digestion is a great oil to apply topically to a child's belly. You can also apply it to his or her feet to support a healthy digestive system. Digestion is, you can buy Digestion in like the full, and I'm holding up a bottle, it's not Digestion, this is peppermint. You can buy it in the very concentrated form. I'm not going through all of the different ways to use oils today because I really want to focus on the oils that will help children, but these are really concentrated when they come in these bottles, you guys. They're very, very strong. One drop of peppermint has something like 26, 28 cups of peppermint tea in it, just to show you how potent they are. So I like to use the rollers with kiddos. Actually, in the company I'm talking about is dōTERRA. Most of you who are listening are already using dōTERRA. And you know how awesome they are. But the roller balls that we can make or we can purchase, and I'm sorry, I have so many oils in my office. The ones that we can make, or like the one pictured here in the slide, is actually pre-diluted and safe to use on kids. So I've actually used Digestion on Maya, earlier on when if she was a little bit colicky, and I've been really grateful she hasn't had too much of those colic issues as an infant. But if she is, I just put a little bit of Digestion on her feet actually, and just rubbed it in just a little bit. You just have to kind of take that little roller, just a little swipe. And if you want to make your own roller, I'm going to talk about how to do that at the very end of the presentation, just a little bit on the bottom of the feet. And it's just, oh, I don't know what just happened there. Sorry, guys. All my slides just went crazy. So it's really important to use diluted oils, and I'm going to teach you how to do that at the end. But you can also, through dōTERRA's, the company dōTERRA, you can actually get pre-diluted rollers that are ready to go. And I'm kind of lazy, or I should just say I'm a busy mom, and so I like to buy the stuff that's already made for me. I do make blends, but I do really like to just buy things that are already ready to go and are safe for my family as well. So I'm going to talk about some other rollers today too. For those older kids, for if you have a kid over 4, I'd also suggest, using some type of, if they're having any kind of digestive issues, using a probiotic. dōTERRA also has a probiotic line. One of the products is called PB Assist. And I like this probiotic. There's a lot of probiotic options out there, right? But the reality is a lot of them come in pill form. And I don't know very many kids that are able to swallow a pill. I don't know about you. Wendy, Megan, do you guys know kids who can swallow pills? I could be wrong, but it's kind of a bit of a trick to get a kid to swallow a probiotic capsule. So there's this awesome little strawberry melon flavored packet that you can buy that goes into water, or they can literally just eat it like a pixie stick. My little nephew takes this daily. He has something called EOE. It's an issue with his esophagus, and we've been using PB Assist to support a healthy gut with him to help keep his gut healthy and happy as he's enduring some treatment for his condition. And he has a condition where he actually has to use steroids and some things that aren't so fun. So just to keep him healthy through that process, I've invited my sister-in-law to try this particular thing, and he asks for it. Like, he literally goes in to mom and says, hey, where's my medicine? Or I don't know what he calls it, but he asks for it because it tastes so good. It is a little sugary. I mean, you have to, there is a little sugar in this one just to help the medicine go down, right? Isn't it like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down? But it's not overly sweet. It's not too much sugar. And to deliver the probiotic, it's a nice option. It's not that chunky pill that you have to either break into something else or get them to swallow. So that's a really awesome product as well. And there's also a product, as you see pictured here, called Digest Tabs. This is really cool because it's like a Tums. So think about what you'd use a Tums for, and this is more for mom. So talked about the kids' healthy gut. Now a little bit about mom. Digest Tab is for mom and dad. If they have kind of, they've maybe eaten too much, or they have just kind of an irritable gut because of, or some heartburn, Digestab is actually really soothing. My grandma takes this regularly and she really likes it. But it has a drop of Digestin, so that oil that I talked about in the first place, pictured on the left, it actually has a drop of that in with the calcium carbonate to help reduce the stomach acid, but also give you a little bit of that essential oil magic to help support those feelings of fullness or those feelings of bloat, or, you know, bleh. So is that a descriptive way to put it? So healthy gut's super important. There's a lot of other products. And those of you who are here, please feel free to unmute yourself at any time if you have any questions as I'm going through these slides. I want this to be a conversation. And typically, if you have a question, don't be shy, because there's likely there's many more others who also have questions. So anyway, those are some of my favorites for healthy gut. Again, there's others. I've made blends and things like that, but let's keep moving because we have so much to talk about today. So I'm going to chime in and start to talk a little bit about immunity now. This one is a big one. This is one that I've really focused on with my own daughter because she hasn't had so many of the gut issues herself. She has, however, started going to daycare recently. And you know, she was so healthy. We were doing so good, never got sick. But the minute we took her to daycare, guess what happened? Yep, you guessed it. She got like a really bad cold. And I mean, it's going to happen. Kids need to get sick to build their immune systems. And that's, you know, the natural way of things. However, if we can kind of help to support those times when our children are sick, either to help shorten the duration or help prevent, you know, the spread of germs, I think it's really an awesome opportunity with essential oils. They're natural, they're safe. You're not putting a lot of junk into their systems. Okay, just for an example, I hate those little Purell, you know, Purell, and I shouldn't use product names, but you know, hand sanitizers, you guys, they're toxic. They've got so much junk in them. They have triclosan and some other things that actually they've taken off the market. Like the FDA has like been like, oh, not so good for human health. And these things are not great. I have to use Purell every time I go into a patient room at the hospital, and I absolutely hate it. You know, I have to do it because it's part of the protocol. But if I can avoid my daughter from using any of those antibacterials, I'm going to. And one thing that I use a lot of is On Guard. You'll notice the On Guard beadlets on the right that are pictured, but On Guard is actually an essential oil that comes in your 15 ml bottle, and it also comes in the roller ball that's already pre-diluted. And that's what I use most frequently with Maya, is that roller. In fact, I've thrown it into Maya's diaper bag that she takes to daycare with her, and I've asked the daycare staff, especially if cold season's a little bit more evident and, you know, people have been getting sick, I'll have them roll the roller on her feet a couple times a day throughout the day at daycare. In a perfect world, I'd actually have the daycare staff put On Guard into a diffuser and diffuse it. They're not able to do that for, you know, I don't know. They just aren't able to do that, so that's fine. I've asked. But at home, I'll run On Guard in the diffuser, just like 5 or 6 drops in my diffuser. If you guys don't know what a diffuser is, I'm gonna unplug mine here. This is just one style, but you can see kind of that little fuzz, that little haze coming out of the top. I just had to unplug it to reach it over to the screen. But I will say that a diffuser is a great way to disperse oils into the air. On Guard is one of these oils that actually has clinical research behind it. It has rosemary, wild orange, cinnamon, clove, and eucalyptus in it. So those 5 oils are really strong, really powerful oils that actually have been shown in research to actually kill bacteria and viruses and things. So if we can diffuse that in the air at home at least, and use it maybe topically on baby or young children's feet, it's a great way to support their immune system. Moms out there, caregivers, these On Guard beadlets that are pictured on the right are pretty awesome too. They're cool because you actually can just drop, they're really tiny. It's about a drop per bead. I don't know if you can see this in my screen. They're really tiny, but you just pop them in, just like that, and pop 2 in, take some water. Good to go, better than airborne, okay? This is my essential oil version of airborne when things are getting rough and tough around around the environment. So On Guard's my best friend. They make so many products with On Guard, doTERRA does, but those are some of my favorites for to help support Maya. So diffusing, I'll also diffuse the On Guard with lavender and Breathe at night for Maya, just to again support her immune system. And then Breathe and lavender oils I'm going to talk about in the next slide. To help with sleep support. So in other news, so On Guard's amazing. Another oil that I'd highly suggest every single family out there have ready to go in the roller or as the full strength oil is frankincense. Frankincense is considered by many to be the king of oils. Okay, it's an incredibly powerful, potent oil. I could tell you a lot of non-compliant stories about frankincense, which I won't do, right, Megan? Megan's, yeah. But frankincense is an incredible oil for our immune system. It supports cell strength and cell health. So frankincense is one of those that you could use interchangeably with On Guard. I've used frankincense on Maya's feet as well. With newborns, frankincense rubbed on the feet can really support them in their first month. I just had a girlfriend who had a baby. She lives down in Denver, and Denver's about an hour and a half south. So I'm going to be visiting her next week, and I plan to bring her a gift of frankincense for her new baby. And for those of you who know the Jesus story, what was one of the three wise men's gifts, right, to the baby Jesus? It was frankincense. Frankincense, myrrh, and gold. But frankincense is particularly a beautiful oil. It's very grounding. So if you just need some emotional support as that caregiver, you need to feel like you're just feeling a little bit strung out. Maybe your hormones are a little bit woo because of life and hormones that women have. Frankincense can actually help if you rub it a little bit. You know, you can use the touch roller. I can apply frankincense just neat without any dilution on my skin. I'm not sensitive, so you have to kind of play with that. You have to be careful, but I can put it on the back of my neck or on my creases of my wrists or even the creases of my elbows. Those are some pulse points on the body that are really great to apply oils, and that can help support my mood so I can feel a little bit more calm. And if you just want it really simple, you don't want to put oils on your body, mom, you can just open the bottle and just take a nice deep breath in. I'm doing that right now with frankincense, and I can already feel it's just amazing. The emotional support, which I'm going to talk more about in a minute, is just so incredible. But for immunity, frankincense is amazing. Again, another oil you could diffuse if you'd like. All right, so any questions about frankincense or On Guard? Or how to use them with your kids? These are two really safe, effective oils for kiddos. Okay, we're going to keep on going. All right, we're going to talk now about sleep. Okay, so who in here is sleep deprived? Anybody? No, you guys are perfect sleepers. You know, I'm a pretty good sleeper too, but I have found, and I've worked with so many people who absolutely adore essential oils for sleep support. And this could be sleep support for your child, or this could be sleep support for you. Let's be real. If everybody in the home has slept and had a good night's sleep, the day goes better. Am I right? The day goes better. The day goes better if everyone's sleeping. And not to mention, you know, as I talked about immune support, part of our immune system is supported by proper sleep. You know, all of these things are intermingled together. You know, we can't have one without the other. So during the REM cycle and during the deep sleep cycle, our immune system is supported. Healing happens. Regeneration of cells occurs. So if we're not getting a good sleep at night, if we're not sleeping well, it can affect our immune system and it can affect our health overall. This is the case for you and your children. The two oils pictured here, Serenity is a special calming blend that was designed by aromatherapists to support sleep specifically, but also Breathe, which is our respiratory blend. They're both amazing oils to be used around nighttime. Okay. I have a story about Maya, specifically my daughter, my little almost 14-month-old. She again went to daycare, got sick, you know, used the On Guard to help shorten the duration of her illness, but Breathe was incredibly important during nighttime, to diffuse during the night to help her stay breathing okay. if you've ever, Breathe has a lot of different oils in it, but one of them is peppermint, and peppermint really opens the airways. I don't personally use a lot of Breathe topically on Maya. I just use it diffused. Because peppermint is in Breathe and it's in some other oils, there is some concern that it can actually increase, the respiratory rate. I mean, if you breathe in peppermint, it's like, whoa, it's like really strong. Your sinus is open, everything's clear, like immediately. So I just like to diffuse it in the same room as the child. I don't usually use it topically, and I definitely don't use actually any oils internally with children. So I'll just mention that now as a safety tip. Until age 6, kids really, I don't feel like they're so little and they have such small and high metabolisms. I just don't use oils internally with children. So I've had moms do it and they've had no issues. But I just don't take the risk. I personally won't take the risk. So because they are so strong. So topical and diffusing oils is kind of my method of preference with young children, especially under age 6. After 6, we can talk some more about using them internally. I do have some friends who use like On Guard beadlets with their kids after age 6. They'll use like lemon in their water, wild orange as to make them drink more water because it tastes good if you put a little lemon in your water. But the reality is under 6, we really want to be careful. So I just want to mention that. And it is actually so happens that Serenity and Breathe, neither one are safe for consumption because of the oils they have in them. So keep in mind as well, all oils are safe for internal consumption. Just a few are, and actually quite a few are. But these two specific blends, the calming blend and the respiratory blend, are actually best diffused. You can also use Serenity topically. I have used Serenity on Maya's feet. Again, the feet are my favorite place to put oils on children. Because it's easy. I can do it during a diaper change. And as my kid gets older, if they have had mom applying oils or dad applying oils to the feet, it's kind of a nice way to connect. It's, again, we're going to get into the emotions in a minute, but it's a really nice way to connect with your child before bedtime. My little nephew, he just turned 3, and he asks his mom every night for his oils, or he says like oils or something, like he can't say oils. So he ran out of his little roller ball I made for him. And my sister-in-law asked me to bring down some more oils because he was out, so anyway, you'll find that kids ask for these little nature miracles, before bedtime. So this is kind of a great, these are 2 great oils for sleep. I'd also suggest lavender. I mean, that's a really simple, highly effective, but also very versatile oil. Everybody should have lavender in their home if they don't already. Cedarwood, vetiver, those are other wood oils that are very grounding and helpful for sleep as well. So you can kind of mix and match and play. I like to play with different things. For a long time, I was putting On Guard, Breathe, and Serenity or lavender in my daughter's diffuser every night. And I felt like that would just help her immune system, help her respiratory system. And then the lavender really helped ground and help her sleep a little bit better. So you can mix and match. It's fun to play with oils. I would just stick with the diffuser or some topical application. All right, yay. My favorite time is to talk a little bit about emotion support. Before I move on, Wendy, Megan, do you have any questions or any clarification or any stories?
Yeah. Beth.
Yes.
How long do you diffuse the oils in Maya's room?
How often?
No, how long?
Oh, I use my pedal diffuser, which I think the length of time it runs is 4 hours. So I just turn it on the 4-hour setting when I put her to bed. And so it turns off automatically either when the diffuser runs out of water or once 4 hours have passed. So, I mean, that's why there's other oil or other diffusers that run longer, and I wouldn't have any problem running it longer either.
Okay.
But 4 hours is how long it goes because that's the diffuser I have in her room.
Okay.
Do you have a concern about the length of time, or were you just curious?
No, I just wondered how long was good for a little child.
Yeah, I think just I just use the max setting on the diffuser in her room, so 4 hours is that. But like my little aroma light diffuser sitting next to me now has an 8-hour setting. It just diffuses less oil, so you always put the same amount of drops-ish. So I usually put about 5 to 8 drops of oil in the diffuser. And if it's a longer setting, it's going to spit it out like in smaller amounts, versus a shorter setting, like a 2-hour setting, is going to be a stronger, a stronger flow from the diffuser. Does that make sense? So if you want a stronger smell, the shorter settings are better. If you want something that's kind of linger and last, the longer settings. Sometimes I do intermittent, where they go on for a few minutes and they turn off, so that it saves the water and the oils in there too, so it can stay on longer. Doesn't matter, whatever makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Any other questions? Okay. Megan, I have to ask you, do you diffuse oils for Amelia at night?
Yes, every night actually. Either lavender or serenity. If she's, if she's trying to fight something, then I'll put usually breathe in her diffuser as well. She asks for it too. I mean, she's 4, so she'll tell me, "Mommy, you forgot to set my diffuser." And she likes, like, the one we have in her room has colors on it, so she likes to set the color. Probably not the best thing for her in sleep is to have, a light flashing, but we usually will turn it off before she goes to bed. But she gets lavender on her feet too sometimes, and yeah, she loves it. She's really into the essential oils, as you know. So
yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Sorry to put you on the spot. I kind of knew you used oils, and I'm not the only one who uses oils on my kids. So I just want to make sure people listening out there to the recording especially know that, this is definitely something that other moms are doing. So that's awesome. Thanks, Megan. And Wendy, do you use oils with any kiddos?
No, if I don't have any little kids any longer.
Okay. Well, but this is good information, right? Because we all interact with little kids from time to time, and we interact with other moms. So having this information is perfect. So
right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Cool.
I went in.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I said I'm just interested because so I can let people know when I come in contact with people with younger kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad everyone's here. Okay. So I'm going to talk about emotion support now. And I wish I had my friend Tammy here. She actually gave this presentation with me last October or November. And she has just some amazing stories about how she's used oils for her own emotional support, but also for the support of her teenagers. I've not yet had teenagers, so I haven't really used a lot of oils on Maya for emotional support, but I do have a couple stories from friends and a cousin, and then my friend Tammy, who I just mentioned. And so let me just give a preface here and just say that, all kids are vastly different. They have vastly different personalities, vastly different needs. And there's a lot of different types of oils, and I could go into the chemistry wheel of essential oils, which maybe I'll do in a future class, but all the different chemical compounds and oils have different effects on our emotions. And when we breathe them in, they actually affect, you breathe them in and they're actually like through the limbic system, affect our brain chemistry, and they can change our mood. They can interact with our moods to help support, a positive attitude, or, if we're grieving, to support our consolation process, or, you name it. There's just a lot of different oils. And I love that doTERRA has made these blends that are pictured here on the slide to help support those different emotional states that we may go through on a day-to-day basis. Peace is pictured here, and I'm going to bring up, I don't know if Shannon's going to listen to this recording later or not, but she came to me, her son was having some emotional, frustrating moments. He was 3 at the time when she came to me. And I suggested she try Peace, which actually comes in a touch roller. The touch rollers are pre-diluted and safe to use. And she started using these on her son's feet. And she put them on his feet during the day, if he was having a hard time during the day before he went to preschool, or if he was at night, just wanted something to soothe him, just calm down. And she said he got so used to using Peace oil that he would start asking for it when he was frustrated. He'd say, "Hey, Mom, I'm frustrated. I need my oils." Like, kids are amazing, aren't they? Like, So she has been using Peace with him for a very long time, for over a year now. And she just actually, that's not pictured here, but there's another oil called Balance that he also likes as well. And Balance is a great blend for, I mean, as the name sounds for it, balancing emotions, balancing moods, and he likes that one as well. But Peace is, you know, the blend that he started with, and now he's using other oils to help support his emotions. And I think that's amazing. And you'll notice there's different names here that are kind of self-explanatory, but like cheer, motivate, console, forgive, passion. If you have an account with doTERRA, you can actually order these 6 oils together as a little package. It's called like the Emotional Aroma Touch line or something of that nature. And it's just really nice to have all 6 of these because there's different emotions day to day that need support. Not only the kids need support, but the caregiver needs support too. And even if you're not a mom, even if you're not a grandma, even if this, that, and the other, you're probably going to interface with some emotions from day to day. So these are really good for anybody, but since we're speaking about children today, you know, using these touch rollers, they're safe for topical application. You can also find these oils in their concentrated form to put in the diffuser. So they can just be diffused. You just drop the oil in. I can tell you that Cheer was an oil that I, early on in my essential oil days, had a lot of experience with. I was diffusing it one day, and it was so weird because I didn't really believe in the oils at that point. I just like, they smell nice. They smell good. Okay. But I was diffusing Cheer while I was sitting at my computer working on schoolwork, and I don't know, I just started to feel this sense of euphoria, and it was really weird. Like there was no reason I needed to feel euphoric, and I couldn't identify why. Like nothing had changed in my life, and I finally looked down and I was like, oh my God, I've been diffusing Cheer all day. And I was like, could it be the oil? And so I went to my mentor with essential oils and I said, I had this experience. And he's like, it's absolutely the oil. He's like, what do you mean? Of course it's the oil. And, you know, he had no reservation or question because he'd been using the oils much longer than me. But it was just an amazing experience to actually, that first time that I had it. Now I use Cheer regularly. In fact, before this presentation, I made I put some frankincense on and another blend that I've made just to help me emotionally get through this presentation, right? Like there's a time and a place to use oils all throughout our day, whether we're feeling happy or sad or anywhere in between. And our children are little personalities as well. And so using oils with them in the diffuser, you can have them pick out the oil, let them smell. I'm sure Megan, Amelia, I saw you in one of your videos, you know, she likes her oils. She has specific oils that she's drawn to, and most children do. They're going to be drawn to certain smells, and so are adults. And it's fun to play with that and experiment with them and let them figure it out, because children are incredibly intuitive, and they recognize, you know, what makes them feel good probably more easily than we adults. So I encourage you, if you do have a kid that is conversational, you know, Maya, unfortunately, not so conversational besides mama and banana. Those are really good words that she says now. But you know, diffusing these oils I know can be supportive of her, even though she's young. And I do diffuse these emotional oils, you know, just depending on my mood, and I know she's benefiting from them too. So yeah, gosh, there's so much more I could say about emotional support. But I do have to say, you know, oils can be just a great way to connect with your kids at the end of a long day. For those of you who are working moms or dads, and you just, you know, you don't get to see your kid very often because you're working long hours and they go to bed early. You know, having a routine is always important, right? As parents, we, you know, have the same dinner time, have the same, you know, bedtime routine to get them to go to sleep. You can make essential oils part of that routine and part of that trigger for bedtime. And putting the oils, again, massaging those oils on the child's feet or the infant's feet can just provide a space for connection, with your kid. And I think that's just a beautiful thing, because the aroma, while you're doing the little massage on the toes, is not only going to affect the kid, but it's also going to affect you. It's going to affect you positively. So whatever oil you're using, maybe it's Serenity, and you're putting it on your kiddo's feet, you're going to get the benefit of that restful blend as well. So there's, you know, the caregiver and the care receiver. in this case the child, are both going to receive benefit from the use of these oils, which I think is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity and one of my favorite reasons to use oils. Now, you could do this with other fragrance products, but the reason I love essential oils is because they're pure, they're natural, and they come from nature. These oils from doTERRA, I can only speak about doTERRA, and I would never put down another company ever, but I can say that doTERRA's oils I found to be incredibly pure and effective because they use third-party testing, and I mentioned in the first slide, I'm going to flip forward. I mentioned in the first slide, CPTG, that acronym, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade is what it stands for. And what it means is that doTERRA, there's no regulation of essential oils by the FDA or by the, any governing agency. So doTERRA was actually the first company to say, okay, this is a problem. We need to have some standardization because a lot of oils on the market are adulterated, or in other words, they're cut with other oils, they have contaminants in them that can actually hurt people. So when an oil is not produced the right way or adulterated to save money or whatever the case may be, people can be hurt by using essential oils. And so doTERRA recognized that and they said, we need to put some sort of standard in place. So they've worked with a lot of different scientists. They do triple batch testing. They test those oils 3 times to ensure that there's no contaminants in them. If you're a mom and you're like me, you understand and recognize the importance of that they're pure, that what you put on your child is pure, that you're not putting toxic stuff on your kid, you're not, putting things on them that could potentially hurt them. Now I am going to talk about dilution because even if it's a pure oil, peppermint, for instance, even though it's a pure oil, I'm not going to put this on my daughter's skin straight or neat. I'm not going to because it's very strong and it's going to almost has a cooling effect and it's probably going to sting a little bit. But diluted would be a safer way to use peppermint or any other oil. And so it's important that we recognize the power of the oils, but we're also using something that's not contaminated. So that's been really important to me. All right, I'm just going to quickly, before I talk about dilution, I'm going to talk about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And this is one of those things that I was totally, when I first started oils, I was totally so many supplements out there. But I will say, and I'll just briefly touch on this, I've done a Facebook Live in my Your Oil That Facebook page. You can go get more information on Lifelong Vitality. But these three vitamins are, it's a vitamin, a essential fatty acid blend, and a botanical cellular energy and longevity blend. Taken together are really supportive of mood. This is more for mom. This is not for kids. There is kid vitamins from doTERRA as well, and kids should not take these, but this is more to support mom and dad in terms of their emotions or support their energy level to take care of their kids throughout the day. We know that our soils are depleted of essential nutrients. So it is hard, even if we have a diet that is high in fruits and vegetables, sometimes it's hard to get enough, even from the conventional fruits and vegetables we find at the grocery store. So this is just kind of fills in the blanks. It's whole foods based, vegetarian, there's no gluten in this. It's a whole, anyway, I'm not going to go on and on because I could take the whole entire presentation, but let me know if you have questions about this product. All right, let's talk a quick minute about dilution and dosage. So as I've mentioned repeatedly in today's presentation, dilution is so critical, okay? It's so important, and especially with our newborns, and then all the way up through, elementary school, we're gonna wanna be diluting our oils that we use with our kids. This is a nice chart that talks about dilution amounts. So if I'm going to make something, when Maya, you'll notice down on the very bottom, there's a new baby, you want to have a 0.25% dilution, right? 0.25, if you go up on the slide, is 1 drop in 1 tablespoon of carrier oil. 1 drop. 1 drop. Let me emphasize that. 1 drop is going to be enough for a newborn. And that's what I did with Maya. I actually have used clove for her teething, and I started using it around 11 months. She's a little bit older, so I did a 1% dilution for her. Actually, I think it was a half. It's a half, because I do 2 drops in a 5 ml roller ball, and it was like lavender and clove, 1 drop lavender, 1 drop clove in this 5 ml bottle. and that's a 0.5% dilution. And then I can put that on her jawline when she's still teething. She's only got a few teeth. She has a lot more to go. So I'll use that throughout the day to help kind of ease that discomfort that comes along with teething. So that's just another side note. I didn't expect to share that, but that is like a 0.5% dilution for her. And then if you're newly postpartum, a 2 to 3% dilution is actually something that you'll want to keep in mind. Try to keep well diluted on your body as well if you just had a baby. And a pregnant woman also wants to keep the dilution from 1 to 2% because your body is going through a lot. Your hormones are definitely up and down, and oils can have an influence on those things. So having a diluted oil for you as a pregnant lady, if you are pregnant or if you plan on becoming pregnant, is a good idea. As the baby grows older, ages 1 to 2, 0.5%, ages 2 to 10, and 1% dilution is really enough. I mean, a little goes a long way. It's not like other things in life where if 1 drop's good, 10 drops is better. In fact, with essential oils, sometimes less is more. So I want to emphasize that again and again as we're talking about kids. Less is more. If you want this chart, email me, and I'm going to have my email at the end of this presentation, and I'm happy to send it to you. You can also Google it. You can find this on the Aroma Tools website, or you can just go to Google and search dilutions for pregnancy or for birth or babies, and you'll likely find this image. So just FYI. All right, so I'm going to get into, so for those of you who are already members of dōTERRA, I'm going to actually open it up for Megan and Wendy for questions if you have them, but I do want to speak briefly about how to get started with essential oils if that's something that does interest you. There's also like a really amazing special going on today. By the time I send this recording out, unfortunately, it'll probably be a different special, but there's specials going on all week. So I want to make sure you know about these specials. So I'm just going to briefly breeze through those here at the very end. But before we go, so those of you who are already customers with dōTERRA, you can turn the recording off and go about your day. I'm going to ask Megan and Wendy if they have any questions, and then we're going to get into how to get started with essential oils if you are curious. You don't have to do anything about it, but if you're curious, just stick around and I'll go through the different ways you can get started. So Megan and Wendy, do you have anything? No? Did I do okay? Did I cover?
It's good. I just, I mean, it's good to have the information and to see what you do as well, but I can't think of any questions. I mean, I kept nodding. I mean, I'm sure you saw me. You kind of covered everything that I was, kind of wondering about, but
yeah.
No.
Okay, cool.
If I think of any, do you want me to just put my hand up? And
yeah, just put your hand up if you want to stick around for the next piece of information. You're welcome. Okay. Raise your hand. Yeah, Wendy.
Do you know what the dilution percentage is of the touch rollers that dōTERRA sells?
I don't. I just know that the aromatherapists who put them together, they're all different. So So this is this guidelines that are on this slide are safe for for pretty much all oils, for topical use. Because different oils have different properties. Some can be used in higher ratios. I think lavender is one of them. You can use it in a bit higher ratio than the things listed here. And dōTERRA has made their dilution ratios are specific to the oil and the chemical compounds in the oil. So I don't have that information at my fingertips. I don't know if it's something you could Google and look it up, but I do know it's safe for use on children. So all of the touch rollers are made for family.
Okay.
So they might not be these dilutions pictured on here. This is like if you make your own dilution. Yeah, if you're not an aromatherapist, I'd stick with this slide as you make dilutions. Okay. But since dōTERRA does have aromatherapists who work with these compounds and in the research every day, they have put those touch rollers together to really support the whole family.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Okay. So if you're interested in getting started with oils, one of the most affordable ways to get started if you want to support your family's health is the Family Essentials Kit. I'm going to go through a couple different kits today. This is one of our just getting into oils, a little bit nervous about an investment. But this is a great kit. Actually, this is one of the first kits that I had in my home, and this is what got me started with oils. I started my membership with a peppermint only because I was totally skeptical. But then my mentor actually gifted this kit to me. He actually gave me this kit, and I'm like, oh. So when he gave me this kit and he gave me a book, that's when my love for essential oils really started to develop. So this kit has all of a lot of the oils I talked about in the presentation today, plus a lot more. I have another presentation on top 10 oils that I gave 2 weeks ago that you're more than welcome to listen to that actually talks about every single oil in this kit. But for kids, we talked about digestion, On Guard, lavender, frankincense, Breathe, okay, On Guard beadlets. And so a lot of those oils are there. And then the others, I'm sure me or the person who referred you to this video could definitely teach you how to use everything in this kit very effectively. These are most popular oils with doTERRA. And this starter kit is $150, but it comes with, in Canada, if you're in Canada or overseas, the prices might be a bit different. This is just US, but all kits come with a year-long membership that gets you 25% off retail for an entire year. There are no monthly orders required. There's no obligation. It's not like a weird company where you have to make a monthly order or sell anything. Not at all. This is just to enjoy the oils. So this is a great kit. I also want to mention the Home Essentials kit. This is kind of like a step up. It's a bit more expensive, but the bottles of oil are 3 times the size, but the kit is not 3 times the cost. So you pay $150 for a 5 ml bottle, which is this little size. I know it's on a video, you can't tell, but for 3 times the amount, which is a 15 ml bottle, you can get the Home Essentials plus a diffuser with a savings of $86 with the Home Essentials kit. And since Wendy and Megan are already members, this isn't gonna apply to them, but today only you can actually get the Home Essentials kit. There's a really amazing BOGO, buy one, get one free special going on today, where if you get this kit and a spearmint, you get 4 free oils worth almost $100 that come with your order. It's kind of crazy. It's BOGO week with doTERRA. There's a ton of like crazy specials going on. Tomorrow it will be different. So if you're listening to this recording, through the end of this week, there will be BOGOs, but after that, it's just the kit. So if you're really excited, contact me or the person who got you this video and get started. It's awesome. And then one of the kits that I feel is really great given this presentation today is actually the Family Wellness Kit. This kit is also $275, so the same price as the Home Essentials kit, but it has those touch rollers. So if you do have kids, you want to start using oils right away topically, and you don't want to dilute them yourself because you're a little nervous or don't know how and you're just new, this is a fantastic kit because it has all the touch rollers. It has that PB Assist that I was talking about, that probiotic powder, that little pixie stick for the kiddo, the chewable vitamins for kids, and the Lifelong Vitality Pack for mom and dad who need that extra energy throughout the day. So this is an excellent choice for a family to get started with oils. You can't diffuse these ones, but using them topically is fantastic, and you can still get the aromatic benefit. So I do like this kit as well. There's a lot of different options. If you order by this Friday, I'm actually giving out a book to those of you who do, want to get started by Friday. It's a Modern Essentials book. The one picture there is actually outdated. The one I'm holding in my hand and the little picture thing is actually the newest one. But you'll get this book with your order of 100 PV or more. If you do 100 PV, also doTERRA is giving away a free orange, so that's exciting, wild orange, and then a 200 PV order. So if you get that Family Wellness Kit, so this one or this one, you actually get a copaiba and a wild orange, and then I'm going to gift you this book. So that's kind of ridiculous, right? It's a lot. Oh, Danny just joined us. Danny, we're just wrapping up our class today, but I'm going to be sending out the recording later. We already went through all of the baby information, Danny, but we will certainly, send out the recording in probably by tomorrow. So I'm so sorry, we're just finishing up. Okay. All right, and then today, the BOGO, for those of you who are already members of doTERRA, you've stuck around listening to me talk, there's actually a great BOGO going on today in the US and Canada that if you buy a spearmint, you actually get a lime and a tangerine for free. So I just want to throw that in there and make sure you guys know about the BOGOs going on. All right, and then of course, with all of these different kits, you get yours truly and the person who got you into oils to support you on the journey. One of the things I love, you know, a lot of people come to me and they're like, ooh, I'm afraid to sign up because I feel like I'm going to have some obligation or some minimum order to make. Well, we already told you that's not the case. But the reason that doTERRA has actually structured their company, such like a direct marketing company where you work with a person, is because education on oils is so incredibly important. Learning how to use oil safely and effectively is not something you would get if you just went to the natural food store and picked up an oil off the shelf. That's usually when I see people get hurt by oils, if they don't know what they're doing. So one of the beautiful things about joining and getting a membership with myself or the person who got you into this video is that they're going to be able to, or I'm going to be able to support you on your journey and really help you understand how to use these oils effectively. I can tell you I have a lot of people come text me and ask me questions, and my job is to really empower people either through showing them books and resources, doing these videos that I'm doing today to help you understand how to use those oils in your journey. So if you need anything, I've put my contact information here for you. Email's great, phone's great. You can also find me on Facebook. But I really am happy to help you and support you on your journey. Just contact me. And certainly if somebody else referred you to this video, talk to them first and see if they can get you started with oils. And if they can't, I'd be happy to help you. So start with the person who referred you and then come to me if you need further information. And if I'm the person who referred you, then talk to me, of course. So with that, you guys, like I mentioned at the beginning, I've got to get going. I have another appointment, so I'm going to bid you adieu. But real quick, do Wendy and Megan, did I not cover something, or do you have any questions? Okay, you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Okay, take care.